Lisa, season 13, episode 4. And I'm Santa today. My head's not even big enough to have all the letters on it. What's up, everyone? I hope I'm not getting lip stuff on this. Yeah, it's going to be a minute till people sign on, unless you're watching this at a later time. This actually is really cool because Velcro, one of the best inventions ever. Take off my beard, let myself show, and bring my hair forward. What is up? How are you guys? What have you been up to? What's new with you this week? Oh, that doesn't look good, but that's the rod that I've never put back up for the blinds, and you can see the radiator back there, and it's a bit stained brown from the couch. And so I've taken off a part of the couch here because each chair is like a section on this couch, and that's where I'm going to put the tree. But it's like pulled out a bit right now because I'm like decorating it. So I thought I'd have it in the shot, but that doesn't look good right there. How can I block that? That's not gonna work. Anyways, I don't think I can push that rod back, and I don't think that most people care. Oh, there. Looks a little bit better. All right, how are you guys? What have you been up to this week? Have you guys got all your Christmas decorations done yet? Mom says, hi, Lisa. Hi, Mom. Have you got your Christmas decorations done? Have you done all your shopping? It's already December 3rd, so you guys should be ready and done. So this is my only rambling hour for Christmas that I'm going to just be sitting doing nothing except chatting with you guys. The next few weeks we're going to do Christmas crafts, and we're going to do Christmas baking, and then one of those days I'm going to read Christmas stories to the children's. So what's new? What's up? I'm going to sit back. Mom says no, no and yes. So yes, decorated, no, not done the shopping yet. This what I'm wearing is like a huge cardigan. I am trying to get my old man Steve to wear cardigans, but he doesn't like them as much as I do. So this one's like really big. I bought it a few years ago for him on clearance at the end of the season, and I love it, but nobody's ever wore it. So I thought I would wear it for one of my lives. Oh, Mom says other way, not decorated, but yes, done all her Christmas shopping. I am not done the Christmas shopping. I have wrapped a few gifts, a few things that we've bought off of Amazon, but actually going out and shopping, haven't really done it yet. So we also need to make sure that we have everything we need for Christmas dinner, then put it in the freezer, like the turkey and everything. I was going to get it, but Steve said he'll get the turkey, so I'll just make sure we have everything else that we need. Sorry, I know I'm always fiddling with my hair and with whatever. I have another little guy here. He's a new ornament that I bought this year. He's so cute, and he's wearing a little cardigan too. And this guy sits in the bathroom downstairs right now, and there's no radiator in there because we need to finish that wall. And the wall that the radiator goes on needs to be plastered and painted, so the radiator's not on there. So it's really cold in that bathroom, and so that's what I said, that it's so cold in there that he has to wear his cardigan. But isn't he a cute little hedgehog? I'm partial to hedgehogs here because they live wild outside in yonder. So this is my little hedgehog. I haven't given him a name yet. On the back it says Gisela Graham, London, so that's who designed it, obviously, but I don't know what I should name him. So Mom says, do you still have your... We don't. Do I still have my what? What else was I going to tell you guys about? I got out the old Merry Christmas gin glass, but it's some of the... First of all, this is pop. You can see it actually, if you look closely, or I can see it anyways, I can see it fizzing and bubbling right up the top. But some of the red is coming off, and but it says Merry Christmas. But yeah, nothing ever lasts. Can you see? It is jumping out like crazy. What's a dark background? I don't know what to put it against so you can see, because I did just pour this before we started, but yeah, it's like yummy, yummy, yummy pop. So, what else do we need to do for Christmas? Yes, we need to do some baking. We talked last week about some of this stuff. So Mom sent me her pecan, not pecan pie, her pecan, no, not pecan tarts. What are they called? What do you guys call them again, Mom? The tarts that you guys have at Christmas time. There is pecan tarts, but there's the other ones. I know you sent me the recipe, so you think I'd have it in my head because I looked at it, but Mom sent me the recipe anyway, so I'm going to make those. And the crafts that we talked about, so I'm excited about that. I don't know how much other baking I'm going to do, because the problem with the baking is that then we'll want to eat it. Butter tarts. Thank you, Mom. Butter tarts. So, what else have I been up to? Any interesting food this week that I've made? Not really. Not that I can even remember. I made chicken on a bun for Steve yesterday and today. So with the chicken breast, I just made pasta for the kids, and I did it Erica's traditional way, just pasta and then chicken. She likes whatever, pasta and beef, pasta and chicken, and she just wants tomato soup on it instead of pasta sauce. What else? I'm trying to remember what I made, but I can't. I can't remember anything. My brain's gone blank. So, I've been just getting organized, getting things, organized and cleaned. I went through all the electronics that were in the office, so I don't know how many of you guys do this, but like I went through all the old headphones to see if they still work, and different cords and things, and you can't put your electronic recycling, so if you have a phone charging lead, they call them leads here, or cord, you can't just put it into the regular recycling. Electronics and even batteries have to be recycled separately. So I have to take the electronics to the recycling center. And so I have a plastic bin that's just specifically for anything electronic that doesn't work anymore. So I was going through all of that stuff in the office and trying to make it tidier in there. What else did I go through? Oh, just paperwork, and did the filing and made things just cleaner in the office. No progress with the bathroom downstairs yet, so I will keep you updated on that. And, this week, yes, actually, so we had, what day was that? Tuesday, we, on November 25th, it was Owen's 32nd birthday, our oldest child. And he was busy working, so on Tuesday, we did his birthday dinner, and we had Chinese food. The regular place that we get our Chinese food, it's called Jasmine Palace. Yum, 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 so good. And the only day of the week it's closed is Tuesdays. So we got our Chinese food from Dragon City, and I have to say the food was very good, but the price, I got basically half of the food for the same price that I spend at Jasmine's. So and with Jasmine's, you get, for every dish, like say a chow mein or a chop suey, you get either a rice or a chips, like French fries, with, like, as a side. So, but whereas a lot of the other places, you have to pay for your rice and your chips. So, yeah, I'm still partial to Jasmine's. It's unfortunate that the only day that Owen could do for dinner, because Bobby, his boyfriend, wasn't working, was Tuesday, and that's the only day that Jasmine's was closed. But the food was good. The visiting was even better with all the kids here and our grandson. And, yes, so that was Tuesday. And because I only bought half of what I usually buy, there was no leftovers, really, for dinner. So, so I made beans on toast one night for Steve. And, and I know, I made Parmesan chicken on top of pasta for the kids. but it was from the freezer because I'm trying to use up all our old frozen. You know when like when I cook food and there's leftovers, but it's either they need to be eaten today or thrown out, or I'll put it in a container and freeze it for lunches or whatever. So I'm trying to get through the old ones in the freezer. Especially these ones that I can't put, like if it has white pasta, then I can't put it in Steve's lunch because he can't eat white pasta. So yeah, I'm even just taking those things out for the kids to have for their dinners and stuff too, trying to clean it out, and so we can restock with portioned, healthy dinners, both for Steve's lunches and for my lunches at home or what have you. Remember I said I should stop drinking pop during these because I burp? But I haven't stopped drinking pop during these, have I? So for Auntie Diane, I'm wearing a different necklace today. I didn't know if it would go with the outfit, but I thought I'd put it on anyways, so it just was too naked there for nothing. So I grabbed one on the way out of the room and came downstairs to get things ready and put it on, and that is what I'm wearing today. So I'm also wearing a hat because I still haven't done my roots. I need to get some dye this week and get the white out. Actually, you can see it more like here, but it's when it, when it's split that you can really see it coming in. But yeah, so that is, look at that. That is why I'm wearing a hat this week. Let's hide that. Me and Steve went out for lunch yesterday. That was nice. A little date. And what else do I have to tell you? Steve's not gone out to cards tonight. Not enough of his mates out. So he's upstairs playing video games because I guess Fortnite updated itself. So the kids and Steve are just excited about the new update. I don't know. I don't play. So what else can I tell you? So regarding getting all the decorations done by December 1st, I did not get them all done, but that's okay. I got most of them done except the trees. Really, garland and trees. That's all I'm working on right now. But I also did work on this week the visa stuff. So I talked to a solicitor, and I was going to say there's good news and bad news, but there's really no good news except the fact that I can apply for a visa. We can spend lots of money, and we're almost certainly going to get approved. But it's all money, 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 right? But this is the thing that is bullshit, is that as I told you guys before, we arrived here on October 5th, 2014. So even though we were here as visitors, because you could visit for up to 6 months without a visa, they also said that if you're here for more than 6 months in a year, like more than half of your time, you're living here. So technically we've been living here since October 5th, 2014. However, when I talked to the solicitor, the 10 years will be up. The 10 years when we can apply for permanent residency will be up after 10 years from the day that we received our first visa. We actually received, because of the whole appeal and the courts and all that crap that we went through to get the first visa, we didn't actually get our first visa until October 29th, 2018. So like over 4 years after we first got here. Therefore, supposedly, we won't be able to apply for permanent residency until October 29th, 2028, which is still 5 years away, which means we'll need 2.5 year visas still, and, which is, a crazy amount of money, especially for 4 visas. Oh, the good news is the solicitor told me that because our application needs to be in, this visa expires January 6th. So we have to do it. You can't do it any sooner than 30 days before. So like after whatever, around December 6th or whatever, a couple days later I can do the application. He said, oh, the good news is that you're getting it in before like is it December 16th or January 16th or something? Because then the prices for the visas go up. Yay! So we're getting it in before the visa prices go up, but not if we have to do another 2.5 years in 2.5, 3 years. So it's just ridiculous. Yeah, so basically, oh, and there is no way to, even if it worked out the way we thought it would, where it would be 10 years coming up in 2024 of October that we'd be living here, there's no way to extend the visa that we're currently on. Yeah, so either way we have to apply for another 2.5 years, so I just have to wait till up to 30 days, no sooner than 30 days before January 6th. And then I can do the application for the visa. So I got all that sorted this week as much as I could, which is just, like I said, it's just ridiculous. The other thing is that because Steve is the sponsor for the girls, that of which are now nearly 20, like Allison's going to be 20 in January. So nearly 20, 18, and 15. In 5 years, that's nearly 25, 18 plus 5 is 23, and 20. Well, 25, 23, and 20. They can't, unless it's for school, they can move out for school, but they can't move out if Steve's their sponsor. They have to live here. If they move out and they have, like, with a boyfriend or whatever, then that person could become their sponsor, but they have to make over a certain amount of money to be able to sponsor them. And it's just, so basically we have these kids living here whether we want to or not, whether they want to or not, until this whole process is done. Then after the 10 years are up, which this is crap too, because that's, say, I have already said that it won't be up for 5 years. That's 2.5 year visas. Well, then when we get to 10 years, even if it is October 29th, 2028, I can apply, if you're married to a British citizen or British national, whatever, then you can apply for permanent residency right away. But if you're not, then you have to wait 12 months, so a year. So even after we're done the 10 years and you think that you can apply for permanent residency, the girls still have to wait a year before they can do that. Now, what does that mean? If our 2.5 year visas equaling 5 years are up, and they have to wait a year before they can apply for permanent residency, does that mean that then they have to get another 2.5 year visa? This is insane how much money this is costing. Like, I am grateful that Steve makes the money he does so that we can afford this, but I am heartbroken for this process for anybody who can't afford that. Because if Steve was just making minimum wage, him and I would not be able to be together. It would just be impossible. Even if both of us were working minimum wage, I don't know how we would have made the money to be together. It's ridiculous, especially for two Commonwealth countries, especially for the fact that so many people move all over the world now. Do you know what's ridiculous too? If I would have got a work visa, then you can apply for, it's only a 5 year route instead of a 10-year route. So after 5 years, you can apply for permanent residency. So basically, Steve should have just hired me as an employee, making it seem like it's a job that no one else could do. But yeah, it's just bullshit, crazy. And that's what I've been dealing with this week. So therefore, I think it's partly that, but it's also just the fact that I'm still not done the Christmas decorations. Although, like, it's not that I'm not done, because it's what it is that I could just put everything away now that I haven't finished. But I know how I want things to be, and I am almost finished. But it's just like, it takes a long time to put all these decorations up and make them nice. So it's just, I'm ready for that to be done. Then the whole visa thing. And just, yeah, so it's been like a bit of and the weather being below zero every night and stuff. It's just been a bit of a mood this last week. But I have been still being productive and getting things done. And I was wondering that too. Like, how many of you guys go through electronics, change batteries on little gadgets and toys and things? Like, I have 2 alarm clocks battery operated alarm clocks that we bought the kids. I checked them with batteries. They work. But what do I do with them now? Because they have, I won't say her name, but you know, the Echo, the speaker things that you can have and say their names and they can tell you what time it is. Well, the one that Erica has a time on it, and any of the other ones, you can just ask them what time it is. Plus, they have their phones. They can check what time it is. It was different when they weren't allowed their phones at night in the room. So what do I do with these alarm clocks? I could give them away as well, but I don't know. Like, what do you do with those? I don't know. So, yeah. But anyways, I went through everything. I'm recycling at the recycling center the electronics that don't work, but I am keeping the things that do work, or even if I donate them, at least they work. So how many of you guys actually do that? Like, I have this like container where if an ornament breaks or whatever, if something breaks, I put it in there, it says fix me. So then when I get to it, I go through there and I glue things back together and everything else like that. I have a sewing bin that has stuff that needs to be stitched, whether by hand or sewn or whatever, just repaired like that way, like cloth things that need to be repaired. And I honestly never really get to that one. Well, actually, I've gone through it, and sometimes the clothes, like a jacket or something that I've needed to fix for the kids, it's too small for them by the time I get to it. So I'm, yeah, and I do have a sewing machine that I need to break out. But I do go around and around in circles. Oh, guess what? I do have good news. Guess what happened on, actually, I think it was on, it was on Tuesday as well, the day that we had dinner for Owen's birthday. The electrician came out, so I have power to the greenhouse. Power to the greenhouse! Which means that I can plug I had the heater plugged in already because I wasn't going to not have heat in there over when it's below zero. However, I had like an extension lead going through the kitchen window, which then the kitchen was a bit cold, although I like taped it up. So, yes, so I have power in the greenhouse. The heater is in there. It's supposed to be 2 overnight tonight, so it doesn't need to be on tonight. But also, he put lights in the loft. So now when I go to do stuff in the loft, I don't have to drag a snake of lights over to each corner of the loft where I have things organized. I can get super organized up there, although it's chilly up there right now. But yeah, so those are some good things that happened. Not only did he, actually right behind here where the Christmas tree is, but he went that way out. There's a outlet, like a plug for me to plug in like the lawnmower or whatever outside. But then that's where he also went off of there to go to the greenhouse. So there's power in the greenhouse, there's power outside now because we have no outside plugs. So here, like a double plug for here, then a double plug in the greenhouse. And then yonder, over by the fish pond in the back, I have a double plug there where I can plug in, which I have plugged in the filter that I have attached to the pond. So that doesn't have to come through the kitchen window either. So that is good news. Yeah, I don't know what else. I am excited about Christmas. It's just I want things to be done. So what else? It is, this talking to myself when people aren't interacting. I loved last week when we were talking, right close to the end, and I don't know if you guys, if you didn't watch, I had to wee really bad, like pee really bad. So I guess I could have ran and then come back. But of course, there was like how many people on, and we were all chatting, and the conversation was flowing, but we were at the hour, and I really had to go. So I called it. But now we're back, and there's not, I appreciate everyone who's watching live, but there's not a lot of interaction. So this talking, I do this with myself, well, in my head usually, sometimes out loud, with myself all day long anyways. So, I guess that's part of the reason that I started the Rambling Hour, was if I was going to be talking anyways, might as well just turn on the live camera and you guys can watch me. So for Christmas, I just said to Steve to get me some different grow lights for indoors. I'm really trying to work on I'm trying to reduce the garden plants, not reduce them, but just like put things, instead of in pots, put them in the ground if there's somewhere for them to grow, and love what I have instead of buying more, especially with us going to Canada next summer. The less pots I have out there, the less work it is for whoever's going to be my angel and water my plants while I'm gone. And then the house plants, I will try and get them all outside, spend the summer outside, so again, it's easier for the angel who's watering all the plants. But I am, again, I'm not trying to buy more houseplants necessarily. I'm trying to love what I have, but really take care of them and make them thrive. So I also, like said, maybe just some different grow lights so that, like, in the office where my desk is, it's not near the window. So I can have a little grow light there. As you guys may or may not know, I have this little tiny, it's like a little halo grow light. It plugs into a USB and it's on my side table, my bedside table. So I have, right now I only have one African violet there. Seems to be doing well. But yeah, so I that's all I said for Christmas. Just some different grow lights that I can put in different places in where the light isn't as good for the houseplants, and see how they do. Plant pots too. Every time I say to Steve for Christmas or birthdays, I say, buy me some indoor plant pots. Then he says, oh, those are kind of specific, you know, you kind of need to buy those yourself, because it's true, the color, the style, you know what I mean? But at the same time, they're so freaking expensive, especially indoor house plant pots. So to be honest, I know, to be fair, to be honest, those are things that my sister Melody pointed out that British people say a lot. And of course now I say them a lot too, but I have bought quite a few outdoor plant pots. So they're for like outdoor, but I use them indoors because they're cheaper. You can get, because people expect you're going to have bigger ones outside. So I can get those for cheaper and bring them indoors if they look nice or whatever. What do you guys want for Christmas? What's on your list? I don't need anything. And there's nothing specifically that I really, really want besides the same thing that I say every year, is just for the home renovations to continue being done and to be finished, which isn't necessarily up to Steve. It's also up to, you know, the universe and everything lining up. So, yeah, that is, I still absolutely love our kitchen. And that's what I say about the bathroom downstairs, and even the extension that's still not done, is that I wanted the kitchen for so long since I got here, and we finally got it like just over a year, not even 2 years, that kitchen. So I've been here 9 years. The kitchen's not even 2 years old. And so that whole time I'm wanting the kitchen. And then when we finally were getting the kitchen done, there was lots of bumps in the road, and when is this person going to come and do this part of the kitchen, and when is it going to be fit? I mean, the tiling for the underneath, in between the bottom cabinets and top cabinets, the tiling there, and the splashback behind the backsplash, whatever you want to call it, behind the cooker, that just happened like a couple months ago. And so my point is, I love our kitchen, and even when we were doing it, it felt like it was taking forever, and there's bumps in the road, and felt like it was never going to be finished. But now that it's finished, I can enjoy it and love it and everything else. So it's the same thing with the bathroom downstairs. I know eventually it'll be finished, and I'll love it, and it'll feel like it was always there. And same with the extension when it's done. But I just got to be patient. And when I went in the polytunnel, outside, listen, the greenhouse was quite expensive, but the polytunnel was only like between 100, 200 pounds, and it's quite big, but it was a reasonable, like, even in Canada I would have been able to afford something like the polytunnel, and it would have, you guys can buy them for like carports and stuff too, just to cover your car. But what a great thing to like keep some plants. Yes, obviously even in Canadian winters it would be a lot more expensive to heat it on -0 days, and you would have a lot more of them than we do, but I'm just saying it's more affordable than the greenhouse. But I went in there, and I'm so grateful for that too. It's doing its job, and I'm really happy about it. But the other day, so I ran out of paraffin, which is like a liquid fuel that you put into this big base, and then it has these chimney things. Well, it has like wicks, and you light the wicks, and it makes a flame, and then you put on these chimneys, and that produces heat, and that's how I'm heating the polytunnel, and that's how a lot of people will heat their greenhouses here on below 0 nights. Well, I ran out of paraffin, and I thought, it'll be all right. It's only like -1 or 2, and I was hoping that any heat that came off the greenhouse might, you know, just keep that like a microclimate in there. Well, I was wrong. And one of the nights that I didn't have paraffin to turn on the paraffin heater, it was -5, which I did not expect. So when I went in there, some of the things, well, they're definitely above Like, you know, the dahlias, you wait for them to go black after the first freeze anyway, so they'll probably be fine. But the begonias, hopefully the rhizomes or corms or whatever are okay, but the top part of them are not okay. The bananas, I'm really worried about the bananas. So I turned on the paraffin heater because we got paraffin yesterday. I turned on the paraffin heater yesterday because it was below 0. It's supposed to be +2 overnight tonight, so I don't need to do it tonight. But what I do need to do is go cut all the leaves off that were frozen and just check everything out and maybe move a couple of them into the greenhouse just to see how they do. But yeah, but the polytunnel is doing its job. If I wouldn't have messed up, then everybody would have been hunky-dory and things would have been good. But that's on me. Too much responsibility. And I think maybe that's why I don't have any pets right now besides the dog. Like, I don't have any, well, I have the fish outside in the pond, but I don't have any gerbils or anything like that. And I don't want any right now, but it's probably because I have so many houseplants and things that need caring for that it would just be too much. And a lot of the houseplants, like, you don't need to fuss over them every day, but at the same time, you kind of got to be vigilant, just checking things every day or two because you got to make sure there's no pests. Different ones will dry out at different times, but I'm starting to get the hang of it. And then different plants require different things, so you have to, like, you know, I'm learning. Some are easier than others, but we're getting there. I don't think Steve realizes how expensive some houseplants are, though. Not necessarily the ones I have. Well, I have a couple that are worth more than others, but I am not, until I really get the hang of the houseplant thing, I'm not putting money into them. So, and like I said, with the outside garden and the houseplants, I gotta love what I have before I get new ones. So until everybody's thriving and happy and I'm doing really well with these, I'm trying not to buy any new ones. Plus, we don't want the house just, I'm trying to keep it a bit more simple in the house for Steve's sake than be the, so there's like minimalists who like live like with the minimal things that they need, very sparse, you know, still nice, they can still be stylish, but they don't have a lot of stuff. Steve's more of a minimalist in that way, like in the kitchen, he would like the counters clear for the most part and just like less stuff. I am still clean and organized and things look good, but I'm a maximalist. And that doesn't necessarily mean a hoarder, although, okay, you can call me a hoarder. But I'm a organized pack rat, as I call it. Clean and organized pack rat. But I actually follow I'll try to remember to put it in the comments, but I follow a group on Facebook called The Maximalists or whatever, and I see how they'll have like collections, you know what I mean? So, you know, one wall might be all black frames with old portraits in or whatever, like it looks like so many, but it still has a theme, it can look good and everything else, but they're called maximalists where you have more stuff than you need, but there's a reason for it, or there's a look to it and everything else. And I would say that I'm definitely a maximalist, but Steve's not. So the compromise is trying to keep things looking good, but still have my, you know, some of my stuff, because I, you know, use it or lose it. If I'm not going to put it on display, even for seasonal, then I might as well not have it. At the same time, I don't want to get rid of things that I would put out if he didn't mind. But I like the house to have everybody's personality, not just mine. So I do try to take that into account when I'm decorating as well. And I love, as you guys may or may not know, I love decorating with photos of people in my lives, friends, family, pets, and even the art that I do hang up. I try to do like art that me, Steve, the kids, or relatives have done and stuff like that. So if you're going to have a big painting hanging, why not have it from someone who you are friends with or know or want to support locally or something like that, instead of just having some random print from a store. You know, that's what I try to do, but not all of it. I mean, there's some things, like even like him, that, you know, he's from the shop, he's not anything, he's not designed by someone special or anything else, but he's just too cute to pass up. So what are you guys asking Santa for this year? Is there anything you guys want, need? Do you guys like practical gifts, or do you like thoughtful gifts, or a bit of both? I am absolutely down with practical gifts, and to me, buying me a practical gift of something that I wanted or needed is thoughtful, but also makes sense because the same thing, maximalist or minimalist, you don't want to fill your house full of stuff that you aren't going to use or don't love or doesn't bring you joy, as Marie Kondo would say. So I am absolutely a practical gift receiver. I know it is crazy how Steve thinks it's weird that I can get like super excited about like a washing machine or a dryer or a rake or something for the garden like that. But the thing is, how shit is it when you don't have those things, right? How great is a washing machine? Imagine not having one, and some of you don't have to imagine it. So why wouldn't I be like super duper excited and happy and grateful if I have a good washing machine? It brightens my life. It makes things easier. So yeah, I love practical gifts. But I appreciate that not everybody likes practical gifts and they think those are things that they should buy themselves or whatever. And that you should, and if it's a gift, it should be thoughtful. So, you know, I don't know. I like to give a mix of gifts. So I've told you guys before, probably when I do the kids, I mean, they're older now, so they don't really have birthdays. Actually saying that, I think Erica has a birthday next weekend. But when we do the gifts for the birthdays, I love giving people body towels because everybody loves their own towels. So I like to make up a little like basket or whatever, usually like some type of basket or like organization receptacle. So let's say a basket, and the basket itself is part of the gift. You know, it could be one that you put up on your dresser and it just, you know, to catch all, or it could be a nice one that you put whatever in. Just so we do some kind of container, and that is part of the gift. And then like say a towel, which is practical and nice and fills it out. And then I do something thoughtful and sentimental, like a little plaque that says something like friends are the best, or a little ornament or something like that, like a little keepsake. And then I usually do something that's edible if we know what they like: chocolate bars, candy, cookies, biscuits, whatever, and something that's edible. And because again, I don't want to fill other people's house with stuff that they don't need. So yeah, I usually do like a bit of practical, a bit of thoughtful, and a bit of yum yum yum, because everybody loves eating. It's even better if you know what they like to eat. What do you think is the best gift that you've ever received? And what is the best gift that you've ever given to someone? Much easier when there's actually people watching live and interacting. But, you know, we might, I might ask these questions every year, and we'll see. So I can't believe it's already December. Some people have said, and it is true, November went by like that. Like, it was October, it was like Halloween, and then all of a sudden now it's December. Like, November was like a blink and it was gone. Oh, it snowed yesterday and overnight, and it's not like lots and lots of snow, but usually here it doesn't snow very much, and if it does, we don't get below 0 days or snow usually until January and February. So it's kind of neat that it snowed before Christmas. But the temperature is supposed to be going up again, just, you know, above freezing. So that'll be nice not to have to run out and turn on the heater and the electric heater in the greenhouse and the paraffin heater in the polytunnel. What else can I tell you about? I'm just really happy with like getting the office clean and organized and getting rid of stuff. And now that there's lights in the loft, I can go through stuff up there instead of having to bring it down here to go through. And I just am looking forward to a new year of getting rid of things more and more and more. And yeah, the house just gets better. The more stuff I get rid of, the more things. A lot of it was before that, like when I lived in Canada, was planning on building a house next to the trailer that I was living in, the mobile home. But I always said, like, well, I got to keep this stuff because I don't know what I want when I have my forever home and what themes I want and everything else. Well, now, assuming this is my forever home, it might not be, but let's just live like it is. Then if it doesn't work in that room, whether for the different seasons of decorating or if it's not what I want, then it's just gone. Because saying this is my forever home, what do I want my house to look like? What do I want out each season? And why am I keeping... Okay, it's like the fact that Erica's 15. Yes, we have a grandson, and we're going to have more grandkids in the future, I'm sure. But with the youngest being 15, do we really need all those toys that are up in the lofts? First of all, it's up in the loft because they grew out of the toys. Second of all, like, I have so many toys from when I was a kid. Not even all of my toys from when I was a kid, because we were kids and, you know, things got broken and wrecked and everything else. But still, I have quite a few toys from when I was a kid, and they're up in the loft. And guess what? My kids didn't give a crap about playing with my toys. So why am I keeping my toys from when I was a kid and now their toys from when they're a kid? Like, we need to go through that stuff and, you know, keep a few things that matter or that I want to give to the grandkids or whatever. But it's, yeah, there's no reason to keep all of that stuff. So we need to definitely go through that stuff and say bye-bye. And actually, it's too bad I didn't plan on this before. I could have, like, wrapped up some of the puzzles and things that were still good for Christmas gifts. Give all my crap to other people. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Next year. Look, stripes and ribbon stripes. Me and Steve have tried to stop snacking at night as well. So what we have snacked on instead of like all the stuff that we would have in the past, because I don't want to dwell too much on it, but one of the reasons I'm wearing a big jumper is because I'm getting a bit lumpy. But me and Steve are trying to reverse that, and so we're weaning ourselves off of snacking at night when we watch TV. So the only things we have been eating as snacks has been chili peanuts. Yes, chili peanuts can be high in fat. I like peanuts. I understand that, but and oil, you know, the oil and stuff. But it's better than like crisps and cookies and whatever else we were eating. So there's peanuts, there's pork scratchings. We're just trying to cut it down slowly because going cold turkey is more difficult than you would imagine, especially when we're watching TV. So, speaking of TV, let's see. We have been watching I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, which I told you guys about. There was another Doctor Who yesterday, and we're watching a series called Shetland. I guess there's like maybe 6 seasons, 9 seasons. I don't know. There's quite a few seasons. The first season only has 2 episodes, and I think it's because it was based on a book, but then they obviously brought it back. The Shetland Islands are islands that are above Scotland. So Scotland is as north as you can get in the UK, and then even above that is the Shetland Islands. And so that's what it's based on, is these islands and crime and stuff like that. It's a drama, but we're really enjoying it. So we're on season 2 of that, because the new season came out, and we're like, oh, let's watch that. It looked really good, because there's an actress who just joined the cast, and so it's been like promoted on things. But then when we went to watch it, we realized, oh, wait, this isn't a new program. This has gone for like so many seasons already. So yeah, we're watching the previous seasons to catch up on it. Have you guys heard of Lazarus Project? I can't remember if I told you guys about it, but it's about like time travel and stuff like that. And it's like the Lazarus Project. It is based in, it is a British TV show, but I don't know if it's on Netflix. I don't think it is, but you guys might be able to get it there. If not, like, look it up, Lazarus Project. It's very good. Actually, if you know the new movie Genie with Melissa McCarthy, the black guy who's in that is the main character in Lazarus Project. So I can't remember his name. It's a bit of a weird name that it's not coming to me. I'm really bad with names. So, what am I saying? Lazarus Project, time travel. It's like this organization that if the end of the world is going to happen, they reset the clock to, I can't remember what day it is, July 1st. It goes back to the last July 1st if the end of the world is happening, and it keeps it. So it's about time travel and stuff like that and resetting the clock. But it's a really cool program. There's 2 seasons only, but the second season just came out, but it came out all together. And a lot of the programs in the UK only have 6 episodes per season. So I would definitely recommend Lazarus Project. Like I said, we're watching Shetland now, and that's going well. And we're watching I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. So I don't know what else to tell you. Genie, the movie with Melissa McCarthy, I told you guys last week too. It was alright, but I mean, I didn't laugh as much as I thought I would, but I do love Melissa McCarthy. So it was kind of like to fill time, it was good, but it wasn't one that I would like have paid to go watch in a theater or that I would rave about. So listening to lots of podcasts. There's so many podcasts, there's like too many, and it's hard for me to even catch up on all of them, but lots of them are so good that I don't want to like cancel any of them or not listen to them, but there's like so many of them, so I've got my headphones in my ears like all the time, which the spirit world does not like me to do. Speaking of the spirit world, I had a dream about my dad. I had a dream inside of a dream, not last night, but the night before. So I had a dream, and then I was telling people about, hey, I had this dream, but I was actually still dreaming when I told them that, because then I woke up and I was like, oh, I wasn't really telling people. That was in my dream that I was telling people about the dream I had. But the dream that I had inside the dream, I was like in a room and I was looking down this hallway, and then I looked over there and I saw my dad, and he was, first of all, as soon as I saw him, I broke down crying and said, oh, Dad, I missed you, and like went towards him to give him a hug. But he looked younger and healthy, which, you know, that's what they say, after we die, if we come back to and appear to people, we tend to be in our prime, look healthy and everything else. He did. He looked great. He looked healthy. But what I remember the most is he had black hair. Like, it could not have got any more black. And yes, he did have black hair in real life before it went white, but I always knew him as more of a salt and pepper, because the black hair was like because they had me at like they were like 30 when they had me. So I don't really remember. Anyways, his hair was like jet black, like so black. And he even had like black facial hair. And it was just, he looked so healthy. And I couldn't believe how like I just broke down when I saw him. And when I went towards him to hug him, I don't know. Oh, I woke up from the dream. But then I started telling people about this dream that I had. But then I woke up from the dream and telling them. And then when I woke up after, I was like, oh, a dream inside a dream. Weird. But yeah, even if that was my dad's, whether it was my mind or my dad's spirit coming to say hi, it was really nice to see him, but I wish that I could have got to see him more, talk to him more, or even given him a hug. But he looked great, and like I said, the thing that made it stand out was how dark his hair was. Speaking of which, I haven't really told my cousins this. So my first cousin Maureen, I've told you guys before, like, a few months ago, she passed away from lupus and cancer and everything else that was ailing her. She was, I can't remember how old. So she's about 10 years older than me, or maybe a few more. But no, was she just in her early 50s? She wasn't very old, maybe 52, I think, when she just passed away. And, but twice now I've had dreams about her, and I can't remember what one of them was, but one of them was on the farm. And I was talking to my cousin Erin, who's her sister, and I was talking to Erin, and I don't know what we were talking about. We were just outside on the farm talking, and then Maureen was coming towards us, it was just normal. But I just remember looking at her thinking, what? Like, she is a pretty lady. She always was. But in my dream, I just thought, whoa, she's like glowing, not literally glowing, like a radiating light. But like, you know, when you say pregnant women, when you see them when they're glowing, like she just looked so good, so healthy, so at her best and everything else. And so again, if that was her spirit, that was really nice to see her that way. But I haven't told her siblings, and I haven't told her kids, because Maureen and her husband Calvin had 3 daughters, or have. My second cousins, Nikki, Natasha, and Erica, and I haven't really told anyone. Because the first night I had that dream, I was like, oh, I gotta tell, you know, I wanted to text my cousins right away, but then Steve's like, you gotta watch when you, like, tell people about these things, like, with spirit and everything else, although I know that kids do believe in it. I was like, okay, but then I had a dream about her again, and I was like, oh, but she just looks so healthy and good that, you know, if nothing else, I just want to say that that's how she's appearing to me anyways. So when I saw my dad like that, because I do dream about my dad sometimes, but I hate when I dream about him. Like, he'll look whether it's a different timeline or if it's just my frustration with the fact that he's passed away. But lots of times when I dream about him, he'll look the same, like he'll be older, and for some reason I'm just angry all the time and mean. But this one was different, and it just made me happy just to see him. And like I said, it was just crazy. I did not expect that. I couldn't believe that I just broke down. Because I don't get to see my mom. Like, Mom's watching this, and she watches this, and we'll video chat and everything else, but I don't get to literally go and see her because we live across the world from each other. So and my dad wasn't a huge talker either. Even when we did video chat, you know, it wasn't like he would sit there and talk to me for hours either. So I don't know how much I would, even if he was alive, I don't know how much I would see him or interact with him anyways, but it was, yeah, so that's why it was surprised me that I just broke down and was like, oh my God, I missed you so much. And yeah, anyways, that was some of my dreams. I tend to dream every night, but Steve says, and some other people say, that, you know, they don't really care about other people's dreams. But I can tell you about my dreams and what they mean. I don't always write them down. I don't write them down most of the time because there's just too much detail in it. So it would take me forever to write it down. It's hard enough to like write in my journal, which I haven't been doing. Oh, you guys saw a couple of weeks ago when I did my lunar, my new journal, my moon journal. It starts December 10th or 12th. I told you guys this too, but I'm excited. That's in a few days. I can start my new journal. So that's exciting. I haven't read my book at all since we've last spoke. I would do more reading. I would love to just flop myself on the couch and do some reading. But as you guys know, I've been working on the visa stuff. I've been working on the Christmas decorations and just getting things ready. And like I said, we had the birthday this week. And there's always something. Okay, so just because the kids are coming over for our birthday, it sounds like, oh, well, that was only one night. But you guys don't know me if you don't know that I need the house clean and tidy and things to look good for people coming over, even if it is our own kids. So it could take a few days just to get everything in order. Plus, because I was doing the Christmas decorations and then everybody was coming, that meant that everything, all the bins and boxes and things that I hadn't finished with, I had to like tuck away into the office to make things look nice for the evening. And then you pull them back out the next day or whatever. So that is what I've been working on. I look forward to, actually, when we're finished talking, I could go upstairs and spend time with my husband and watch TV, but I have to finish this tree so I don't have to think about it tomorrow, and then put the tree skirt on and put the few gifts that I've already wrapped under it. This is the first time I put this on. I think I bought this for Steve. It looks like Lena, and I hate that the ring is on it. I don't know how to get it. It's a German Shepherd anyways, so I don't know how to get it without you seeing the ring light in it. But yeah, so Christmas decorations, decorating, getting things ready, yada yada yada. We have only a few more weeks till Christmas, so next few Sundays, like I said, there's going to be baking and there's going to be crafts. Now Samantha said if she could do one, she'd like to do, I've forgotten, I think she said crafts. So I'm going to see if she's able to join me on one of these Sundays, and whichever Sunday is the one she can join me on. So say her and I are doing crafts together and she can do one of the Sundays. The other Sunday will be the one that we do the cooking. But next Sunday will be one of those. It's either crafts or cooking next Sunday. I will try and let you know during the week if I can. Otherwise, just tune in and you will see us doing some crazy Christmas stuff and me probably making a mess and a gong show because, you know, I'm clumsy and messy and great. So, yeah, so thank you for tuning in. And I'll put because I started with it, so I'll finish with it. Hang on. So what day is it today? The 3rd. So the 10th. Next Sunday is December 10th. There's also birthdays coming up. None in the immediate family here in December, but my mom's birthday and friends' birthdays and other people's birthdays. So from me to you and our house, happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. And if it's Christmas, Merry Christmas. And we will see you next week for whatever we're doing then. All right? Oh, ho, ho. That's how I started it. That's how I'll finish it. Mom says, bye, Lisa. Bye, Mommy. I love you. Have a good day, everyone. Bye. Love you too. Mommy says, love you. Love you too.